Do you think there's anything a Green Lantern cannot make with his ring?
The color yellow.
What if there's a villain that's just yellow, other than, like, the Yellow Lanterns? Like, what if the Bananas in Pajamas fought Green Lantern?
Oh, the Bananas in Pajamas would totally kick his ass.
And
They're
then
yellow.
maybe they have the teddy bears as backup, those big fucking creepy teddy bears.
Yeah, but he could take care of the teddy bears because they're not yellow.
But they'd be just a distraction!
Dude, the Bananas in Pajamas with shivs would beat all the Green Lanterns from all over the universe.
They could take
Isn't that crazy?
They could take over Oa and just... what do they call it? Sorry, Guardians, banana time. And then they just fucking dance.
Bananas in Pajamas are shivving your spleen.
Hugo and Jake, the Bible is jaded, and most are taken, so get educated with Hugo and Jake. Pull up a pew and stop what you're doing, it's Bible reloaded time. They call it a maiden, the theist will hate it, like talking to taken, but it's Hugo and Jake. So I'm with the show then, it's not candy coated, it's the Bible reloaded with Hugo and Jake, with Hugo and Jake.
Hello everyone, I'm Hugo.
And I'm Jake.
And this is the Bible Reloaded.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Alright, so today we're going to be finishing off Joshua. Pretty literally, because I think he dies at the end of this.
Yeah, I don't like Joshua anyway, so I think we're all good. It's basically Hitler committing suicide in the bunker right after he marries his girlfriend.
Anyways, last time what happened was Joshua and his army took over lots of places.
Murdered people.
Put feet on necks of kings that were already completely defeated.
As you do.
Killed innocents.
Yep.
So now we're going to get a lot more of that. Let's just dive right in. Chapter 10, verse 28. Southern cities conquered. The day Joshua took Makkedah, he put the city and its king to the sword and totally destroyed everyone in it. He left no survivors, and he did to the king of Makkedah as he has done to the king of Jericho. Then Joshua and all of Israel with him moved on from Makkedah to Libnah and attacked it. The Lord also gave that city and its king to Israel's hand. The city and everyone in it Joshua put to the sword. He left no survivors there, and he did to its king as he had done to the king of Jericho. Is Jericho the control
standard
group? He's the standard?
Yeah. Did he also yell walls down, or did he give that up?
How bad did they kill him? Like King of Jericho bad.
Oh, shit.
Then Joshua and all Israel with him moved on from Libnah to Lachish. He took up positions against it and attacked it. The Lord gave Lachish into Israel's hands, and Joshua took it on the second day. That's important to know. The city and everyone in it he put to the sword, just as he had done to Libnah. Meanwhile, Horam, king of Gezer, had come up to Lachish, but Joshua defeated him and his army until no survivors were left. So the other city's king happened to also be there.
Just walking through, he's like, you know what? I'm taking a day for myself. Gonna go to the mall in Lachish. Gonna go to the mall in Lachish.
Come on, army.
Come on, army, let's go, because I'm a king and I can't just, I can't go by myself. It's like Brad Pitt walking without an entourage. You just gotta go.
Joshua sees this and he's like, Two birds! One army of angry Jews. So as you might have noticed, there's sort of a pattern going. All that happens for the next couple paragraphs is they go to a different city and destroy it and kill everyone there. Right. That's literally all that happens. We're not going to repeat it because it's almost the same exact wording every time, and I'm not going to make you listen to me say the same thing over and 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 over. That's annoying.
Yeah, like we did with numbers. But yeah, so Southern Cities conquers, that's all that. And then, hey, Northern Kings defeated. We're going to change the title, but exactly the same structure. And then they give us a list of defeated kings.
This is an awesome list, too. Let me explain to you how this works. So, I'll try and get an image of this if I can. If nothing else, I'll take a cell phone picture. It lists them as such: the king of Jericho, the king of Ai, the king of Jerusalem. I assume it's supposed to be in the order they defeated them. Then to the right of it, as if it's an Excel spreadsheet, this is the next cell over, it says 1 next to the first one. And then you think, oh, are they going to number them?
Nope.
The second one, it goes 1. The third one, it goes 1.
All the way down.
As if they're telling us each king counts as 1.
I wish one of them would have been like 2, and then it would have been like What? What did he have that the other ones didn't? Maybe he was a Siamese twin. And that's probably why he lost, though. He's not as maneuverable in battle.
And then at the bottom it just says 31 kings in all.
Thank you, fucking asshole, with your math.
I don't know if in the original text this made more sense, however they did it. I don't think there's any way it could have, though.
The only way I can imagine it is if... The end of Joshua reads a lot like a document, like a governmental document, because it's basically like, hey, here's all the stuff that happened, and we're taking account of it. And let's be honest, they probably weren't that good at math, because they made the arc pretty small, so I mean... But yeah, so maybe they're just tallying it, and maybe the translator's like, tally counts as 1, we should write 1, because unadulterated word of God. I don't know.
Yep, and then we move on to chapter 13, Land Still to be Taken. When Joshua had grown old, the Lord said to him, "You are now very old." Thanks, asshole. And there are still very large areas of land to be taken over. This is like the end of Ghosts and Goblins, when you finally get to the end of the 6th level and you beat Satan, and then it says, oh, no, it was all an illusion, and it makes you start at the beginning of the game again, and you have to go all the way through and beat it twice to actually beat it.
You better show footage of that fucking game.
Okay. I will.
I've never played Ghosts and Goblins.
Good. It's bad.
And then they list a whole bunch of places that he has to take, like Ekron, Gath, Byblos. Honestly, if I was going to take any of those, it would be Byblos.
Just because of the name.
It just sounds like they have good Greek food there.
Yeah. And then it just goes division of the land east of the Jordan, and then they say, this is how you're going to divide this land. Then division of the land west of the Jordan, which you'd think would allocate all the land.
Yep.
But no.
And then allotments for Caleb, Judah, Ephraim, Manasseh. They divide some more shit. Allotment for Benjamin, allotment for Simeon, allotment for Zebulun, allotment for Issachar, Asher, Naphtali, Dan. And then we get to Joshua chapter 20. Cities of refuge.
Then the Lord said to Joshua, tell the Israelites to designate the cities of refuge as I instructed you through Moses, so that anyone who kills a person accidentally and unintentionally may flee there and find protection from the Avenger of Blood.
The Avenger of Blood!
So the idea is, we're going to set up cities so that if you murder someone, quote-unquote, accidentally, which is up to your own... It's subject to the person running away, I assume. Then you have these cities to go to where you can hide and not be punished.
So it's basically Jew Australia.
I was going to make that same joke.
High fives. So yeah, so this was referenced back in the day when we did, I want to say it was Numbers. It was different laws. Anyways, it said like, hey, if you accidentally kill someone, go ahead and run away. And then we made a joke about it. This is the fruition of that law. Hey, now we have a whole town where killers can go. It's just a town ridden with guilty consciences.
Go to buy fruit in the market. Can I have some fruit? I'm sorry! It was an accident!
I'm sorry too! It was also an accident, but I'm just the guy selling fruit.
I didn't mean to shake her that hard. Infanticide. And I also like the Avenger of Blood. It's like a Punisher ripoff.
Yeah.
The Avenger of Blood. What's his backstory?
Ooh, his backstory.
He was a firefighter.
Yep. They didn't have those, but yep.
He was a firefighter on 9/11.
Okay. Yeah, and he went in and he was going to save people, and then his best friend's like, no, don't go in, I'll do it.
No, but here's what happened. But his best friend's secretly been slipping it to his wife this whole time.
Yeah, and then his best friend...
He sees an opportunity.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm going to get him, and throws him into the towers, and then he's like, no, and then he's down there, and no one finds him, and they think he's dead, and then he gets out in the middle of the night while no one's digging, and then he gets out, and he's like crippled and kind of hurt, and then he goes to Chinatown, and there's an old Chinese man, and he takes care of him. His name is...
Wang Chung.
And then he goes on a crusade.
He teaches him karate, and he learns to use the power of unbridled patriotism to try and take down the neighbor, but he accidentally invades Iraq. And that's the story of how George Bush came to be the president.
The second time.
When they flee to one of these cities, they are to stand in the entrance of the city gate and state their case before the elders of that city. Then the elders are to admit the fugitive into their city and provide a place to live amongst them. If the Avenger of Blood comes in pursuit, the elders must not surrender the fugitive, because the fugitive killed their neighbor unintentionally and without malice or forethought.
The Punisher will not be kept at bay by old guys, I'm just saying.
They are to stay in that city until they have stood trial before the assembly and until the death of the high priest who is serving at the time.
So the Punisher's going to aim for the High Priest and then murder all of his targets at once. 18 birds, 1 stone.
Then they may go back up to their own home in the town from which they fled.
Jeez.
So after we get the cities of refuge, towns for Levites, and then
and then they split up all the towns. That the different tribes of Israel get to claim themselves throughout all the territory that they've covered. Then in Joshua chapter 23, our boy Josh, is getting a little old.
Yeah.
He's like, hey guys, check it out. I'm getting old. You should listen to the Lord.
I am very old. You yourselves have seen everything the Lord your God has done to all these nations for your sake. It was the Lord your God who fought for you. So is he saying we didn't do any of that? I think so. Remember how I have allotted the inheritance for your tribes, all the land of the nations that remain, the nations I conquered.
Whoa, your army conquered, buddy. Get a little big head there.
Between the Jordan and the Mediterranean Sea in the west, the Lord your God himself will push them out for your sake. He will drive them out before you, and you will take the possessions of their land, as the Lord your God promised you. Be very strong, be careful to obey all that is written in the book of the law of Moses, without turning aside to the right or to the left. Do not associate with these nations to remain amongst you. Do not invoke the names of their gods or swear by them. You must not serve them or bow down to them, but you are to hold fast to the Lord your God, as you have until now.
No, they've grumbled, for 40 years.
And it's not even like they're wandering anymore, aimlessly. That's just their life. They just consider that their life. The Lord has driven out before you great and powerful nations. To this day no one has been able to withstand you. One of you routs 1,000, because the Lord your God fights for you, just as he promised. So be very careful to love the Lord your God, or else he'll fuck you up, I think is the implication. But if one could really rout 1,000, why don't they split up? Wouldn't that be the most efficient way to conquer?
Yes. Yes, it would.
Now I am about to go the way of all the earth. That's actually a really awesome line. I like that. You know with all your heart and soul that not one of all the good promises the Lord your God gave you has failed. Every promise has been fulfilled. Not one has failed.
There's got to be one that failed. Oh, I love you all!
But just as all the good things the Lord your God has promised you have come to, so he will bring on you all the evil things he has threatened until the Lord your God has destroyed you from this good land he has given to you. So tread lightly.
You all get gonorrhea, gonorrhea. Great discharge.
If you violate the covenant of your Lord your God, which he commanded you, and go and serve other gods and bow down to them, the Lord's anger will burn against you, and you will quickly perish from the good land he has given you. And then the covenant gets renewed, which is basically he goes over the same things he always went over with Moses, so it's unnecessary.
Don't care.
And then finally we end Joshua with the end of Joshua and buried in the promised land.
Yes!
After these things, Joshua, son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died at the age of 110.
Fuck.
And they buried him in the land of his inheritance at Timnath Serach.
110.
Yep. In the hill country of Ephraim, north of the Mount Gash, Israel served the Lord throughout the lifetime of Joshua, and of the elders who outlived him, and who had experienced everything the Lord had done for Israel. And Joseph's bones, which the Israelites had brought up from Egypt, were buried at Shechem in the tract of land, for Jacob brought 100 pieces of silver from the sons of Hamor, the father of Shechem.
So, some guy's job the whole time was carrying a bag of bones?
Are
they in the ark?
I think they were in the ark. Doesn't that mean they had to open the ark, though? Isn't that a no-no?
I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
Why did they have to have the bones? He didn't even do anything.
I don't know, except get him thrown into slavery. This became the inheritance of Joseph's descendants.
Here's your bones.
And Eleazar, son of Aaron, died and was buried at Gibeah.
Gibeah.
Was buried at Gibeah, which had been allotted to his son Phinehas in the hill country of Ephraim. And that's it. What a weird, undramatic way to end Joshua.
They don't say how he died.
But he died.
So we're going to create a way that he died. So, Joshua's 110 years old, but he's still spry for his age, right?
Right.
So, does he still like to get into tomfoolery?
Here's what happened. Joshua is like the Diet Coke Moses. So the Diet Coke Optimus Prime, Rodimus Prime, shows up, and they have a fight to the death. Rodimus Prime now has the leadership matrix, of course, which is what makes him a Prime. And he kicks the shit out of Joshua. He doesn't even have to really kick the shit out of him. He says, here, get in my car, and then he gets in the car version of Rodimus Prime, but then he transforms, and he gets all mushed up in the gears, because when he transforms, he, all the stuff smashes.
That was a good movie.
And that is how Joshua died. So thanks everyone for watching.
Is Omnicron in that movie?
I think so. And thanks everyone for watching. If you want, you can follow us on Twitter.
Bible Reloaded.
At Hugo Reloaded.
Yeah, so you should follow us because we're fun.
You can donate to our new donate system because we got a new one.
Patreon.com/TBR. We've already had awesome people that have donated. And at the end of the billing cycle, we will give them a proper shout-out. And we will be sending Bibles to a couple people so far. So be sure to check it out because you can get free Bibles or free shirts.
Mm-hmm.
Cool stuff.
They're signed by us, obviously.
Oh, yeah, because we're sweet.
Yep. Other than that, I think that's it.
Got anything coming up?
Nope.
Yeah, we're pretty uneventful lives.
Yep. Anyways, I'm Hugo.
I'm Jake.
This has been the Bible Reloaded.
And next week, we put pancake batter in a waffle maker. Oh, us!
Isn't it the same